Welcome back to the Dungeon Master's Corner. Today, Nicole and I explore Karis Aran, the NPC who went from fiancé to foil to family. Come and bask in the love-hate relationship that created so much delicious drama. I didn't even hear your clap. That's fantastic there. Welcome to another episode of the DM Corners. My name is Brian.
And I'm Nicole.
And I'm realizing I say that different every single episode. It's either DM Corner, Dungeon Master Corner.
Just a slightly different inflection, too.
Yeah, different inflections, yeah. Proof to you, the listener, that we aren't just rehashing an opening every single time. No, it's done every time. So today we are talking about... We have discussed Rosette and Theomin, the two NPCs from the Prince of the Apocalypse campaign that I ran. But there is a third. As Yoda once said, there is another. And this one probably has the most interesting love-hate relationship of the three.
Yeah, surprisingly, not the sister who gets stabbed or throws the little brother off the tower or chain lightning
older
stuff to
sister?
death. No,
What older sister hasn't wanted to defenestrate their younger brother? I speak as a younger brother.
But she succeeded.
She did. There is the difference there, yeah.
Now, we get to talk about Karis today.
Karis Aran. I'm proud of Karis. I am proud of Karis.
You know, I got to love her by the end of the game.
Did not love her at the beginning.
No, I did not. Not at all. For good reason.
I think my absolute favorite thing about Karis now... Karis is... She's a beautiful character on so many levels, but I also really loved her design.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a half-elf. She had the plaited hair, the chainmail armor, and I described her, and Nicole does a lot of the art for just us in general. She does the art for our shows, does all that. She drew Karis, and I'm pretty sure you sent me the picture, and the line you wrote was, "I'm angry how much I like how this turned out."
Yep.
You disliked her so much as a character.
But I loved her design.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you talk about the first time you met Karis?
So, it was our second instance at Feathergale Spire, and we had this big old fight because they had taken Kaelessa, one of our favorite NPCs from Red Larch, and we were going to rescue her, but we needed to get her back safely, and we kind of needed to continue pursuing the cult into the ravine, because that's where our path was leading us, but we needed to get her back to safety, and she wasn't doing well. So we did what we could. We sent word to literally, I think it was Theomin who suggested who to send it to, the Paladins of Mystra.
Almost like the DM was trying to get this character brought in.
Almost as though. They could come and get her. They had access to the magics that could get her away safely. So Vega uses Animal Messenger, we send word, and then a teleportation circle appears like a few hours or a day later, something like that. And two paladins step out with this bitch. Hey Thee, it's been a long time. That's a new nickname. Who the fuck calls him Thee? But, play nice because, they're there to help Kaelessa. It's fine. And this woman just walks up to him, just wraps her knuckles on his breastplate, and it's like, who's this? Who are you? Oh, she mentioned about how, they would have had a future together if he hadn't left, because, I asked, like, you two have a history? Like, oh, in the future if he hadn't left. Couldn't let my future husband get hanged. Future husband? I'm sorry, what?
Now, this was mentioned in an earlier episode. I believe it was Paladin meets Wizard. So Theomin and Karis were betrothed. His father had set up their marriage because it'd be good politically. And Karis really liked Theomin. Theomin really didn't like Karis. He didn't, like, hate her. It's not like, oh, this bitch. Which I have to say, I love the fact that I could hear the scorn. You called her this bitch, and there wasn't as much scorn as this woman. It's like Sherlock Holmes, the woman. He didn't dislike her as a person. He just had no interest in marrying her, and it was one of the things that drove him away from the Church of Mystra. So, like, yeah, he wasn't going to mention to the woman he actually cared about this woman that he was hoping to never see again for the rest of his life. But when she came popping up...
Nice to know ahead of time, so I wasn't caught off guard like that.
Yeah, well, the DM got inspired to do that one, and it fit into the character to not do that so much.
It really did. It really did. And Karis is a cleric of knowledge, am I right?
She is. She is a knowledge cleric. Actually, I have her thing up in front of me.
What's a fun little thing that the knowledge cleric can do, Brian?
They can just detect thoughts. And that's what she was doing.
So he's like, so what are your surface thoughts right now? Boy.
Something your players always love to hear, by the way. What are your surface thoughts right now? So this was a fun little exchange where she was asking you questions, you were answering them, and then I'm like, now what's your surface thought? And Theomin is standing there considering the pros and cons, mostly pros, of throwing himself off of Feathergale Spire, because it has to be better than this.
And she was looking at our party composition. It's like, oh, you guys don't have a healer. Our healers are fine. And Thok just looks at Middle and goes, our healer is Vega.
Which was far more entertaining, given the fact that Vega wasn't there for that.
No,
either.
he wasn't.
To be fair, this was nearing the end of Vega's time with the group. Life was happening, and he needed to step away. So even then, Vega was gone, so they had no healer. So I think Karis was willing to offer her services.
No, we're fine. We're good. We don't need you. Just please take Kalessa.
Yeah, so between the fact that their healer was frequently unavailable, was a werebore from time to time, that was preferable to Karis joining up. Which, to be fair, you guys did require Karis' services a few times. I believe once was to bring you back from the dead.
Yeah, she brought me back from the dead at one point. She also, when we had fought the Earth cult, slight spoiler for Prince of the Apocalypse, there's a danger you might get turned into a stone statue. A little bit.
Really, the cult that has Gorgons and the actual Gorgons, which they call Medusas, even though that was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, go figure the cult continued stone.
So when we were fighting the Prince of the Blackened Earth, Theomin actually got turned into a stone statue, which getting him out of there was that was a feat.
To be fair, you had Tizelle at that point, and she
We
was
did.
strong, and you had Thok, and he was strong, and you just had to be careful not to break off anything important, like a finger or something else.
We had to be very careful not to break anything off. So we bring him back to the cleric that could help him, which I think we then ended up leaving him with my brother for safekeeping because Karis was in hiding at the time.
Because someone was trying to... The church was trying to off her.
For some reason. So we ended up going on a long extended journey with her, which, so thrilled to go on this long excursion with the woman who is my boyfriend's betrothed. That is a fantastic time, let me tell you.
Well, long story short on that one, and we can go into a longer story in another episode if people want, but long story short on that one, Theomin's father wanted Karis arrested because it turns out her mother was part of the, I believe they're called the Avriel, the winged elves.
Yeah, the Avriel.
And they were I don't want to say at war with them, but there was something between the two of them that I can't really remember politically, that he was like, no, bad, you are a spy, you are from them, you are working for her, you are going to be brought to justice. And Karis is like, I didn't know who my mom was until a little while ago. We don't believe you. So you had to help her find her mom to figure out what was wrong. And keep in mind, Karis is a half-elf. She does not have wings like her mother.
Nope.
And it slowly gets revealed. Yelethel was her mother's name. When they find her, she talks to Karis. They have their little heart-to-heart. And Yelethel eventually reveals why Theomen's father is so hell-bent at destroying anything that Yelethel has touched.
Because they were lovers at one point.
Yeah, and unbeknownst to him, she got a little present from him by the name of Karis. So he was both Theomen's father and her father. I'm pretty sure that nearly killed Nicole when she found out about it. If she had Menowin's constitution in real life, it would have killed Nicole to find out that information.
Oh, absolutely. Because it was also hilarious, but also kind of a relief. Not gonna lie. Because
they're half siblings. They definitely can't get married now.
Exactly. Because, like, to be honest, like, from adventuring with Karis, found out that she's actually pretty cool.
She was very smart. She was very charismatic. She was not very strong.
We started getting along a little bit, which is good because she ended up being my half sister-in-law.
Yeah, I was very specific when building this entire arc with Karis. I wanted to make sure from the get-go everyone was aware nothing has happened between the two of them. This was not going to be, in spite of what the title is for this episode. What you doing, half bro? What you doing back there, half bro? So I wanted to make sure that it was very clear everything that happened just for people's sensibilities at the table. But I really wanted the soap opera drama.
And the fun part was when we got, Karis' name cleared, returned back, and she was able to turn Theomen back to regular Theomen, not Stone. Getting to break the news to him. I believe there was quite a bit of drinking involved after that.
There was relief, but there was also there was such a dodged bullet at that point where it's like, I need to drink just to cope with everything I'm learning. I was stoned for like a week. What the fuck?
Yeah, a lot happened.
How did all this happen?
I think it was like a month.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they were getting pretty powerful at that point, and I just needed more reasons to keep them from having the DNPC.
Yeah, and this was the, easier of the ways to, remedy easier ones.
Yeah, just turn them to stone. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we can fix that one pretty easily. We don't need anything as powerful as, say, Wish to fix it. Brian.
But that's a story for another time. Listen, I needed to get him out of the story for a while. You got to marry him. It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Point being, what I wanted to make sure I kept in mind while building this was I wanted the drama. I most definitely wanted the drama. But I also had to be very cognizant of people's sensibilities at the table. That the hint of the idea of incest was enough to make it funny. If it had actually happened, I feel that would have put off a lot of people at the table. So there's balancing what you think is going to be funny and making sure that it doesn't cross that line. And I think I actually did a very good job of that with Karis and Theomen and Menowin and balancing that entire interaction.
You absolutely did.
Yeah, I didn't want to upset anyone, but this was a story I really wanted to tell. So balance the story you want to tell with the people you're telling it to. Or easier to say, know your audience.
But I think this wraps it up for our DM corner today.
And it does. Thank you all for joining us for DM Corner. I have been Brian.
And I've been Nicole.
And we hope to see you in our next episode. Until then, bye!
Bye!
If you'd like to support us, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/reliablychaotic to get Karis and Thaemon's trauma sorted out. You can also drop us a line on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic. We'd love to hear from you.